So,
Yeah.
greetings and welcome to the Evangelist Collective, which is a place and a space for those of you who love the Lord and want to make Him known, get inspired, get coached, get educated, and get fired up to share the beautiful gospel of Jesus Christ. And today I have my good friend, John Fale, who's joining us today, the man, the myth, the legend, who is with us today on the Collective. So it's great to see you, John.
Also, thank you, Pastor Singer, for inviting me along.
Right, honestly. So good, man. So good. So, hey, bro, just start off by telling us where things are at with you at the moment. What are you doing with yourself? And just start there.
So, bro, I'm currently in Hawaii at the moment. Just kidding. Well, at the moment, I'm working at the moment from home, and also I work for Graham Dingle Foundation, which is an organisation that runs value-based program in the all schools, primary, intermediate, and also colleges as well. So I'm doing that as well. But on the other side of it, the ministry side of it, I go to Life Church, Menurua, part of Life Church Menurua, which is run by Senior Pastor Louis Seal. But we're over out west at the moment, pastoring the church, Love Church West at the moment. So we're there. We've been there for about a couple of years now. Part of the church. Yeah, it's really good. It's a good, a different feel to the south side, Westies. But it's been really, really awesome over the last couple of years. Also, I look after a connect group called J2911 Leadership Connect Group, which brings together young and wise men that come together. It's a platform for them to actually share what's on their hearts, or a platform where we have speakers that come online to share about certain topics, like as being leaders in their own community, in their own families, having quite a few of them are into their sports, so we have a bit of a banter on there. New South Wales versus Queensland. So I was on missions almost every year. For the last 10 years, I've been going on mission, taking a group of people that have a passion and heart to go on missions and sort of I call it a sort of an uppercut from God on their purpose when we're over there. So they go there for a purpose, but then God has other plans for them while we're there and when they come back. So my saying is, it's not what you do on mission, it's what you do with it when you come back from mission. So that's my saying. So yeah, I do a lot of things, and also I'm married with awesome kids. My sister, she's a social worker. She's social services manager. She works for an organisation out of Mangere, Strive Community Trust. So yeah, that's me, mate. I love youth. I love working with you, but also love going on missions and that. Yeah.
Just kind of take us back to where it all began for you when you first encountered Jesus.
Oh, mate, back in my days, I was a bit of a rebel, as everyone would be. I went to school, and I guess I went to school for the wrong reasons, like yourself, Sonia. I guess I went to school. I went to Aurora College, and then I got a scholarship with Mangi College. No, not kidding. Not a scholarship. I got asked to leave to further my education somewhere else. So and then after that, I left school, and I went to work with my mum, and we did factory work for a couple of years, and mum and my aunties were all there. So it was like a family. You don't have to bring lunch; they bring lunch for you to make sure you're eating. And also when you get paid, they actually gave me pocket money as well, which I didn't have to. So that was really cool. But I guess it came to a head when I went to live in Sydney. I went over there to play league for a club called Kingsway Dragons. They were like the feeder side to the Rabbitohs. But when I went there, I got sort of caught up in the old culture of King's Cross, and there's other stuff, the old stuff that was going through. And I came back, to nothing. And I was in a sort of a space where I had no purpose, and then one day Mum said to me, "You better get a job because you're getting fat." So yeah, well, you know, some more mums, eh? So yeah, so I got a job, and I went to this course, and it was a job search course, and I got on there, and they had no places left. The only place they had left was a business administration course, and that's back in those days. You know, when you were typing, guys were typing, you were considered as sissies. Yeah. Oh, it's only a couple of years ago, bro. But when I went in there and I saw the course, what made me stay to do the business administration was the opposite. The ladies they were in there, they were quite nice. So back then. So, but when I started there, then I met my tutor. Her name was Lois, and she just turned my life around in regards to working with youth, doing youth work in there. And she made me see things I couldn't see. And she said, you know, you have potential to work with these young people because they look up to you and all that. And I said, oh yeah, cool. So moving fast tracking forward, I went back to church, and I just went back to church for the sake of it, just to be sitting at the back and just listening to, back then I was listening to Kumbaya songs, and you know, I wasn't taking that in. And then my mate, then they had a youth camp, and they had a youth camp there, and this was when I was about 22, a couple of years ago. And they had a youth camp, and then it was at Hunua, and the theme of the camp was "Be who you are, be who you are." And that was really cool. I only went there to play sports because, you know, I love playing sports. And then when I went to camp, and then Pastor Iliafi was speaking, great speaker, and he spoke on that night. He talked about, who are you? Who are you in life? Who are you in Jesus? What is your calling? You know, if you were to go home after this camp, what are you going home to? You know, and that really hit me bad because, and he was right, because I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was going back to, because I was there just to hang out with a couple of boys. But and that made me really think. And then did an altar call, and then and then I went up, and and gave my life to God, and it's been a journey of I call it a spiritual yo-yo journey, as we go up and down. You know, I've been through all that, and then I think it's in the last 10 years I really I sort of realigned myself back into God when I got into the leadership at church, and I sort of made changes here and there, and I married my best friend, Sissy, and she sort of, as you know, our woman of God, our warriors, and breathed fire into it, and just started from there. And yeah, and my journey has been really good. It still has its ups and downs as we all go through our journey, but God has been the centre of everything that we do, and He's blessed me so much for work. In regards to work, I've never worked in the city in my life. I've never worked out of South Auckland. He's always opened doors for me in the jobs that I'm in. And I've always worked in youth from when I first left the course, business administration, and he opened doors for me at Te Wanga. I did a couple of years there, and he opened doors another PTE, and then at Best Pacific, and then Auckland Council, working with KAD was Community Action Youth and Drugs and Alcohol crew that worked in Manurua, and then he blessed me working for Graham Dingles. So he took me through a journey. He opened doors for me. I was so blessed, and he's connected me with a lot of good people, key people like yourself, Sunya, when you were bodybuilding back then, and things have sort of fallen in place. You know, we go through a storm. We've been through storms, and you know, but that's how you get through that storm. That arrives you as a person that you are now. So yeah, so it's all God, and I've got awesome kids, and they're very talented kids. Kids, they're in worship, so I'm still trying to get in the worship team. But my kids and my wife said, John, when the time's right, you can come up. It's okay. Well, I'll leave that with you guys. But yeah, that's my journey in a brief itself. So, and also I've had great mentors. So I always believe that if you have great mentors or people that you talk to, that you can sort of offload, then they'll give you back great advice. And I truly believe if you hang out with chickens, You act like a chicken, act like a chicken. But if you sort of hang out with eagles, then you're going to soar like an eagle.
So good, so good. So let me ask you this question. Did you ever, in your imagination, see yourself as a senior pastor, living that life of ministry?
No, as a pastor,
As
no
always a
way.
pastor?
No, never in my entire life I'll ever, not even some of my family feel I'll be a part, because they, your family know who you are and what you've come from, what you've been through, and they're the hardest critics of you. If you're willing to change, if you're changing, they'll go, oh, I wonder how long this will last,
Yeah.
So never in my life did I ever want to become a pastor, and I didn't want to become a pastor, to be honest, right? I didn't want to become a pastor. My pastor Louis asked us 1 year, and then it took us two to 3 years to say yes. Yeah.
It was, and this journey for you, 2 to 3 years. I mean, that was a process, right? That was the time where you were wrestling with this pressure, this expectation. So kind of talk us through that throughout that time.
Yeah, so I guess for me, during that 2 to 3 years processing of what Pastor wanted us to do, it was looking at, I guess, it was looking at, all right, what it means for us. What does it mean for our job-wise? What does it mean for our kids? What does it mean for taking on this responsibility of being a role model? And, during that journey, there are things that I had to let go. I had no choice but to let go. When I made a decision, I had to let go. What am I willing to sacrifice to become a pastor and to lead the flock? When you become a shepherd, you're the protector, you're the counselor, you're the uppercut man, you're the coffee sesh man, and all that type of stuff. So, and also it's like running an organization, and also thinking outside the square. So, something, because for me, I'm the type of person that sort of, do a lot of serving, but I'll stand at the back, rather than lead from the front. Then in other things, I'm at the back. I lead from the back. That's me. And I still lead some aspect from the back, but then when I know that I have to lead from the front, then I have to lead from the front, as the shepherd does. Yeah.
Wow. So again, serving is kind of built into us, right? We don't mind serving. We don't mind pushing people forward into their calling and destiny. But when the limelight's on you, bro, when God shines a light on you, again, that's something that I've had to struggle with at times. And I'm thankful that I have, Pastor Stephen as the lead guy. But, for you're taking on everything and the light's on you at times. And so that would have been kind of a journey for you in that sense where you had to come out and God was saying, you need to come out, son.
Yeah. And come out in regards to, okay, this is how we're going to do our service. This is what we should do. Then you have leaders that you refer back to that are part of your team. So you got your team that are making the decision, but at the end of the day, you make that decision that is best for the whole church itself. And then you had to do the weddings. Then you had the funerals, which I've never done before, and that was something totally new. And the weddings was okay, but it's the funeral that was different. So you had to. This is where a lot of pastoral care comes into it as well. So the upgame of the pastoral comes in, and I could see the journey that I've undertaken, all the pastoral care that I did with all the coffee sesh that I've done with certain people that sort of came to fore. So what I've learned in the past, I had to utilize it in my work as a pastor through the church, and also working with my wife as well as a team. We had to sort of be in sync with each other in regards to that, and also, it's been a crazy journey.
It's a faith walk, a faith journey in itself, isn't it? So I kind of hear from you that the Lord's just prepared you, man, from day one, and even in this youth space that you're still in today. How do you manage the demands on your time, the demands on your energy, your emotions, having the youth space, the church space? You've got all that, and I know you've got a great, amazing wife who's on fire for the Lord, and that helps. But how do you personally manage that?
Well, that's an awesome question, Sonia. I think what it comes down to, you just need to let go some of the things that you are good at, and focus on the things that is really important. That's really important in your work, and I've had to do that. I've had to let some of the stuff that that I'm gifted in, but had to do stuff that I'm uncomfortable with, but have to do it. So when you're uncomfortable, you'll learn as you go. When you become comfortable, when you become too comfortable, then you have to look at things that you're uncomfortable with to do. And that's something that, like, I had to let some sports stuff go, because I did a lot of coaching in sports. I had to let that go. That was a bit of a passion because my boy was playing, and like I was working with kids, I had to let that go because, as you said, I had to manage my time. So there are a couple of things that is important to me that's top of my list. There's the church, the missions, and also my family as well. And God's at the top.
So good. I mean,
Yeah, so,
your time is so important and precious. It's something we can never get back. And again, thank you for jumping on today, because I know how precious your time is. So in that process of stripping, just letting go of stuff, and I know these are things that you are passionate about, letting go of those things and grabbing a hold of what God had for you, would have been tough. So, with Sissy and yourself, how were you guys able to talk about that, discuss that? What do those conversations look like?
After each service, we try have a coffee session where we debrief about the services and debrief what's been happening that week, and then we look towards the upcoming week. That's for us too. But we usually have a planning day with the team where we come together and plan the year out and the events that's coming up, or the services that's come up as well. But for Sissy, it's really important for us to get together and communicate. Like in every couple, you communicate. Communication is the essence, because our awesome wives, they like this. They're very detailed. They like to know everything. For us guys, we need to give those details, but it's hard for us to give those details, as sometimes for us different personalities. Sometimes for me, I'm a sort of a flag, easygoing guy, and you'll get the information when he comes. But with Sissy, she likes to have more information there and then. Yes, Sonia. So you're speaking from experience, eh, mate? But it's good, because it's good for us, because it brings that balance for us to, as not only as pastor, but also as a couple as well, because husband and wife as well. So this is a journey that we've both undertaken together, that we journey together. So communication is really important for us, and planning, and also, there are times where we don't disagree, but then we have to agree to come to a point that, okay, we'll do this together. And also with our senior pastors, Louis and Nani, we refer back to them as well and get their viewpoint as well. So it's really important that we pick their brains as well.
So share with us briefly your heart for West Auckland in terms of, you've got a church that's been established there, it's been planted there. Tell us about that process, how you went about planting a church there. But, as you transition out of that, how, your heart for that place and for West Auckland, tell us about that.
I didn't want to go to West Auckland. When Pastor told us that he was planting the church in West Auckland, I was just looking at, okay, you go, it must be you guys. But we went there as support pastors for our other pastors, Maria and Simon. And then we still stay in South, but we journeyed up to West. So, we did prayer walk right a couple of years before we actually planted the church. So every morning we go out to West Auckland, do prayer walks around the areas. So we did that, and then we started as a connect group out west, and then by word by mouth, people started coming to our connect group, and we went to a small room out in West Auckland, and then we went to a cricket club to do the services out there in the evenings, and then we had a big launch a couple of years ago, and now we're at the ACC, which is Avondale Community Centre, where we have our services there. So God has been really good to us in regards to the venues that have come through, especially with ACC, because that was first ring to book that place, and we were really blessed to actually secure there. Half of West Auckland, we love West Auckland now. Just the people that have come through. So when we first started, we had a sort of a group of South coming up to West, just for services and that. But now, the only South people coming out, it's just myself, Sis, and 2 others. West is all, the church is all West, run by West. Those are born and bred in West. So, and we love the culture, and they bring a different flavour to the church, and they know their own community, because most of them, like in fact, quite a few of them work in the community, which made our job a lot more easier in regards to the mission statement of our Flow Church of while we're out there. And also we've had a lot of great connections out west, and we've met some really great people. And also we're starting to connect with a lot of the West churches out there as well. I think it was many years ago, we went to a church called CCF many years ago, before we went to Light Church, and they were based out Kelston. So, and as you talked about prepping, how God prepped us, well, and when going back out west again, you know, when people talk to us, man, that's a long way to go. And I said, not really, because we've done it before. That, you know, it's not that far. I mean, if Jesus is willing to walk to Jesus so many years, I mean, it's no difference from us just going down the road, you know. So yeah, it's been really good for us, especially for our kids, because when we were at our South Church, yeah, we were just leaders, and our kids were part of any ministry. Just one of our boys, Clinton, as you know. But now our kids are fully involved in ministry at West, worship, looking after the services. Our daughter, she's in charge of the youth out west, her and her partner. And yeah, it's been really good for our kids, for our family as well. So we just thank God for, we didn't see it, but He really extended our children's giftings into the ministries that we didn't see back then, but you know, they had to do it. They got uncomfortable and did it, and they've been really, really good. So it's been a huge blessing, not only for us but also for our family as well. So
as you're speaking, I think more and more it's just become, you know, more apparent to touch on, you know, staying the course. Like you've gone through different stages of evolution in terms of, you know, personal development and God just really stretching and growing you. But you know, what would be some advice that you would give to people who are wanting to launch into ministry full time, who feel the call of God on their lives, and are just at their starting point? Because you're a few steps ahead, what would you advise them to do?
Oh, pray. No, because I don't know. I'm still working full time as well, bro. So I'm not doing full time ministry. So it's about balance. But I guess it comes down to why you want to go into full time ministry. That's really important. And also, are you really to make the sacrifices along the way, financially, emotionally, mentally, and physically? And also, where are you with God? Where are you with God? Is God at the centre with you?
So
and also,
good.
I think you know, they say you got to pray and fast, and that's cool, and that's really important that you do that. But also, it's important that you consult with your leader, your main leader, whoever they may be, within the church. I always believe that it's good to have 2 mentors, one within the church, one outside of church, both faith-based. I have Pastor Louis, that's my mentor within the church, and I have another guy that I mentor, that seek advice with as well. That's outside. Because the reason why I do that is that my mentor that's outside of church, he can see a lot of things looking in. Like if you're within the circle, you can't see. You can see it, but you can't see what the person can see looking from the outside, looking in. So that's why I have 2 mentors.
And so, what are you looking for in a mentor, particularly the one from outside of the organisation?
A mentor that will listen, mentor that will tell you iron sharpens iron. You know, tell you how it is. and a mentor that will journey with you the whole way through thick and thin. That's really important. And a mentor that would buy your coffee as well.
Let's just change lanes a bit and let's talk about your heart for missions.
Yeah.
I mean, tell us about that. Why do you go on mission every year? What's the point? Like, you could be quite happy doing what you're doing in the community, which is amazing, and also doing stuff in the church setting, which again is amazing in itself. So why would you bother?
Yeah. I to be honest, 10 years ago, I didn't know what mission was. I knew about missions. I thought mission was just about going helping people in the different countries. And there was one year when Pastor Louis wanted to take a team to Indonesia, and he asked for volunteers, and no one volunteered. And then I get this private message, John, I think you should come on mission with me. And I went, oh my gosh, Indonesia, with all these people getting killed? Are you real? And there's three of us guys, Maka Tapu and Tony Holmes, and I was really nervous, and I didn't want to say no to him, but I didn't know how to say no to him. So I spoke with Sis, and she said, you know what, you might as well just go, because you never know, you might get something out of it. So I went on that trip, unprepared, as you would. I paid my money and we all went. So there's four guys going on mission, and it was great. And I thought, oh, well, we'll just go see what happens. I know God will be there for us. Mate, we got uppercut big time when we were over there. The work that we did, the people that we spoke to, the kids that the things that we saw really hit us bad. We did a lot of work over there. We did a lot of evolution there. We shared devotions. We did sermons and that over there, and it was so good. And God just got rid of my old lens and put my spiritual lens on, and made me see the whole bigger picture of what mission was about, going out into the world, going out to the world and preach and reach and teach. And it was a command. And Matthew, go out into the world. What I felt really taught me about what mission was about, what preaching the gospel was about. It wasn't about us. It's about planting of seeds. How they say, the harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. We are those workers that need to go along there and plant those seeds, give hope and encouragement and empower the people that are there that are doing the work already. We're not there to change it. We are there to encourage and empower the people that are there doing the work. So ever since then, I just love it. Every year I take a team out, and for me, I intentionally focus on key leaders within the different churches, young leaders
I love it.
Within the different churches. And when they say yes to go, and then I go through a process of why do you want to go? What are you going to get out of it? And they come up with some great answers, but I know that God will do the rest when we're over there. And the good thing about it is that I see it as a sort of a leadership training for us.
So good.
Like a leadership training camp for the mission work. So we go there, we'll take items, that a group of young people with us, and when we go there, then sometimes we stick to the plans that we set in place, but sometimes God changes things when we're there, because He knows the people that are going on mission, but He has a plan for these people that go on mission to change the environment that will suit them or wake them up. Hey, you gotta wake up, wake them up to see things they've never seen, and they'll relate it back to the things that's happening with them at home. Do you know what I mean?
So good.
Transformational. It's a transformational training for these guys. I know it's about mission, but it's a transformational mission trip for these people that go on mission. What they see, what they hear, what they touch, what they feel will transform them for good. However, it's what they do with it when they come back here home.
Yes.
It's so important, because if they don't do anything with it, well, they're just one of those cock-a-doodle-doo people. They're cock-a-doodle-doos.
So what's the next step for these missions? I mean, you talked briefly about how you've seen couples, seen breakthroughs in couples and young people who are now leading their own teams, which is awesome, right? That's what you want to hear. But for you personally, where do you see this heading?
For me, I'm supposed to continue on with missions. I want to take my family. We're planning to go on missions this year, but with the lockdown, that sort of tie-ho on that. So we're looking at going on missions as a family. I mean, for me, I go missions all the time, and my family have supported me. My daughter has come with me on missions, but I really want to take my family on missions, and that's just something for us, for our family. We do missions so they can see what the bigger picture of why we do what we do in regards to missions, why they've been a support for me, why do I go over there? Because I want them to see the bigger picture of it. They hear it, they feel it through all the videos, but it's a better classroom environment if we take them over there and they can be actually taught by the kids there. They can actually see. You're not wasting food over there, the worship and just being connected with those people. And I want them to see that as well. So my main goal is we go on the family mission trip, but also to carry on. Now, there have been a lot of times during the year that I said, oh no, I'm not going to go on mission this year. But people have run me and said, oh, John, I've got these guys, they want to go on mission. And for me, it's a yes straight away. I said, okay, let's get together and have coffee and we'll see how many people might come. And it's all been just through God's plan,
Wow.
Yeah.
I guess this is probably a good way to kind of bring it to a close, is around reminding people that God is faithful. Through what you've just shared, but even in the time that we're living in with this whole COVID thing, a lot of people, a lot of churches are struggling, a lot of families are feeling the financial burden that's on their lives at the moment. So, man, I would love for you to pray into that and remind people that God is faithful.
Father God, we thank you for this time. I just thank you for Pastor Suya for this opportunity just to come on and just to share with different people on different platforms about their journey. And I thank you for just where his heart and passion is for you, Father God. And I just continue to uplift him to you, pray for his family and his ministry as well, Father God. And Lord, we just pray for those that are watching and listening and here today. We just pray for where they are at the moment with you, Father God, and especially in this pandemic time, Father God, as we move down the level of from level 4 to level 0, Father, we pray for the government decision in a couple of hours' time of where we are at in regards to level 2, Father. But Father, it just sort of taught me a lot about when we were on level 4, we were on alert, and I suppose for us as Christians, we need to stay on alert for always, level 4 always, Father God, in regards to where we are with you, Father God. We pray for those that are going through a hard time at the moment, especially financially, those that are seeking work as well, Father God. We continue just to lift them up to you, Father God. We pray for those that have health and well-being issues or that may need help, Father God. We pray for healing upon them as well, Father God. Lord, Father God, we continue just to strive in your name, keep that fire fanning for you, that we come out of this storm and it's only temporary, Father God, as we read in the word that how Peter was tested by Jesus to walk on water, and we just need to do that, Father, that we keep focused on you alone, on where we are, Father God. Father God, we thank you for this time. We continue just to praise you, continue to just to keep you in the middle of everything that we do, Father God. Give all glory to you, this I pray. Amen.